What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start the show by being transparent. And sorry about this, I'm getting some notifications. Maybe we're not live on Facebook, but we'll have to fix that later. Um, yeah, we always start this show by being transparent. So yesterday was a terrible day for myself. I wish I can get this off the screen. There we go. Terrible day for myself. 0-2. I trusted, man, every time I just bet a Las Vegas Aces game, I just blow up. Um, yeah, they came out. Remember that quote we had in the chat yesterday about defense? We ain't playing any. That's what they looked like yesterday. They reverted right back to not playing any defense. Gave up, I think, 25 plus in the first quarter, maybe 50 in the first half. It was pathetic for real from the Aces. What we saw in that game. Washington's been playing good, but shorthanded, losing another player during the game went out right for them. So not a good day for myself. Had a great day on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Not so much. So need to be better here on Friday to end the week. Veno, always love having you here. Hopefully you did better than me yesterday. And how are you doing today?
No, I didn't do any better than you. Well, maybe I did because I only had one end of that game, which again was first half. Las Vegas -4.5. And I tell you, they got behind first quarter. They came back. They took a lead first quarter. They're sitting there 25-25. I think they gave up a hoop. But what I'm noticing more and more about the W Skee is that in the NBA, if the end of quarter is coming and you have possession and the shot clock is turned off, in the NBA, they'll make sure they get the final shot of the quarter. In the WNBA, they'll launch, like last night again, I think it was Kirsten Bell, launches a three with 11 seconds left, only to turn into a layup on the other end, and now you're down 4 at the end of the quarter. I'm like, what are you guys thinking here? But 29 points allowed first quarter, couldn't stop anybody. Like you say, they were short. All the logic that we had. We went to logic school yesterday, Skee, and we probably failed logic school off of that game because the Aces did not play any defense. They didn't look like they're a team that's going to be inside the top. Well, maybe they make it to the top 6 in this league. I'm not sure. They don't look like it, though, defensively. So we had a little text going back and forth, Skee, but unless I'm fading the Aces defense at this point in time, I'm pretty much done with them. They kind of lulled me in. I thought maybe they're going to be playing a little bit better now. They look a little bit better, but they're really not. So tough loss, but we can make up for that tonight. 5-game card, so let's go get them.
I was muted there, but yeah, we got to make up for today. 5-game slate to do so. Look at a couple of these comments before we get to it. Yeah, B Daddy. Aces did not care. That's what it looked like to me. Jeff, that stopped winning all that money at the casino with Pam and getting the lab. She must have posted something that I didn't see. I don't know. But I do. Pam, I love Pam. She's an amazing person and a great friend. Let's see. Yeah, those are the comments. We'll get to it. First game up. We got 5 of them today. We'll go in rotation order. First is Lynx and Dream. Opened up -1.5 for Atlanta. We've seen a flip of favorites. The Lynx are now -3.5. Total went from 158 total barely has moved from 158.5 to 158 or 157.5 as far as who is available. Let me just refresh that because WNBA is turning into NBA nowadays. Nafisa Collier, probable, it says right here. For Atlanta, I don't see anybody on the injury report. Veno, these are 2 teams, both coming off losses in their last game. The Lynx have only lost 2 all season. They were missing Collier with their back problems, but it looks like they'll get her back tonight. And when she's out there on the court, they've looked pretty damn unstoppable. Atlanta, they did lose as a big favorite. I mean, both lost as a big favorite. So it's a bounce back spot for both. Do you agree with the line move now that Collier is in? Who do you think actually takes advantage and bounces back?
Well, I'll say this. It was the only game that I bet yesterday, and I bet it blind to whether or not Nafisha Collier was going to play or not. Guesswork on my part that she would come back, but I didn't know that for sure. But that total of 158, I bet immediately to the over. And for multiple reasons, bounce back, which you mentioned. What happened to these two teams the other night has to be somewhat of a mirage. It was the two worst offensive performances put up by each side all season long. Atlanta scored 55. They hadn't scored less than 76 all year. That's 21 points below the lowest game they played. So you have to treat that as kind of a mirage. It was a terrible shooting night, especially for Alicia Gray, 3 of 16 from the floor. Their three-point shooting was terrible in that game. And then you turn over to Minnesota, where they welcomed back Jessica Shepard. They scored 64 points. It was the first time all year, regardless of whether they had Collier in the lineup or not. It was the first time all year that they were held to less than 74. So both teams kind of outlier results offensively the other night. I fully expect when I get and these two teams, by the way, are ranked number 2 and number 3 in offensive rating in the WNBA. So you're 2 of the 3 best offensive teams that put on their worst showings of the season offensively the game before. So you know me, I'm immediately all in, and especially when I saw the number 158. It's not even in the 160s. I got to jump. I did. I played it. I would say that from my vantage point, when Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams go 3 for 20 from the floor, I expect better than that the next time out. I think you'll probably get it from Minnesota. Again, I singled out Gray, but it wasn't just her that night. And now, as luck would have it, you do get Nafisha Collier in this game, which boosts the Minnesota offense greatly. Now it's Collier and Shepard both back in that lineup. So it should be a good night offensively for Minnesota, because Atlanta, even though they played really, really good offense, they've given up points this year. So they're not bulletproof when it comes to allowing the other side to score big numbers. You're asking for 80 each here, Skee. 79-79, I guess, gets you a push. 80-79 wins the game. And I just don't see where that's too much to ask for two teams in a really, really strong bounce-back situation, two teams with a ton of offensive arsenal and efficiency. I know an argument could be made, well, they play slower pace, Rob. Yeah, but they play slower pace, but they're so effective with their possessions. They're efficient with their possessions. So I'm not too worried about that. I think over 158, and it probably will go higher now, Skee, throughout the day, now that Collier has been ruled in, because I think I saw 156 earlier this morning before she was listed as probable.
Well, yeah, it was 156 earlier. It did go up a couple points now. And I was trying to type in the database, see if I can get some support here for kind of the thought process, but haven't really found any yet. But I do agree in general. Like, I think the Lynx shot like 17% from 3. Atlanta shot like 20%, 21%, something like that. I can understand expecting a bounce back here. I personally got in on Lynx plus 100 even money, and that line is long gone. So I just think the Lynx are better. I mean, both teams are hungry. Both teams want to bounce back. I like the price, and I expected Fee to play. Like, I got the alert that she was going to play, and I put this bet in. So that's where I'm at. If I have to play right now, I kind of agree with Rob Veno, and 3.5. I think it can be a competitive game, but maybe I'll wait and just play this one live, see how it starts off and play it. But I have Lynx plus 100 in my pocket. That's what I'll tell you guys. I can only tell you what I bet. All right. Next game, we'll go 6-11, 6-12, Fever and Dallas. And you might, Vino's laughing already because he knows. And I told you guys a little bit yesterday, but you're going to hear about it again today probably. Open 7.5 favorites for Indiana, down as low as 2, between 2 and 3, depending where you shop. Total open 173.5, as low as 168. When I look at this injury report, I get irritated. I'm gonna start with the Dallas side though. Carrington is out, McCowan's overseas, May Seager's been gone, but Carrington out. That is meaningful. For Indiana, Damaris Dantas, I believe, is overseas, and Caitlin Clark is listed as game time decision. She missed last game because she had a groin injury. I mean, this is a huge game, Caitlin Clark versus Paige. If she's not healthy, I would think she doesn't want to go out there and play this game. And I would think the team would want to take care of her if she has all these injuries. So, with that said, you're going to get a slight vent before we completely break this game down. I told you guys yesterday that the night before, I spent I spent so much time researching the games. I researched the game for yesterday, and then the Sparks and Fever game, and I was researching this game, Fever and Wings. I had 8 paragraphs written, ready for this game to go. And Caitlin Clark, the injury news comes out, and I have to adjust what I'm doing. So I'm irritated with that. But now, I mean, groin injury is serious, but now she's game time decision again. Like, you would think if she had the groin injury and they're doing imaging, she would be out in these next 2 games, especially it's a back-to-back here. But no, she's game time decision. So what I'm going to tell you is, when I was doing that research, when I was expecting to play this game ahead of time, it's a huge game if you see Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers. Everybody's going to be watching. It's going to be hype. These teams usually play extremely high-scoring games. I think the last 3 meetings have top 193. But you're going to need Caitlin Clark to help that Fever offense. We've seen what they look like without her for extended periods of time now. For Dallas, I initially thought we'll get some shooting, like how Rob Veno says. They shot 2 for 15 from deep in their previous game. You think they'll shoot a little bit better. But the more I thought about this game, and once I saw that Caitlin Clark was out, I can't trust the Fever offense, for one. They're on a back-to-back. I expect them to die down as the game goes on. And the Wings are on the front end of a back-to-back. So even if they are up or whatever the case may be, they got to manage those minutes and save some, especially if Caitlin Clark is not out there. They're not going to take this game, as seriously as they would with her, as far as like Paige would probably get all the minutes, etc., the main players. And they would probably care less about the game tomorrow. So with all that said, with me thinking Caitlin Clark was not going to play today, I bet under 169.5. So, Vino, it's been a headache. WNBA injury reports turned into the NBA, but that's where my money ended up. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I can't argue it, Skee. Can't dispute it, because I think even I said to you yesterday, either on air or off air, that you're just noticing a little bit of slight improvement out of the Dallas defense. When you're the 11th or the 12th ranked defense in the league, second worst, improvement doesn't mean you're good. It just means instead of 12th, maybe you're 10th, and you're getting a little bit better as time goes on. They've had a lot of lineup shift here, obviously. The one area where Dallas matches up really well with Indiana, and an area where I thought Indiana would dominate last night and did not, is the interior. Dallas is an offensive rebounding machine. Yeah, they're an offensive rebounding machine. I see you, Capper. Yep. And for Indiana, they're number 1 in the league in points in the paint. So when interiors clash like that, maybe it neutralizes. And LA did a great job last night neutralizing Indiana points in the paint. If not for Kelsey Mitchell, tell you the truth, last night, Skee, she got hot for a while. Indiana didn't show much in the way of offense. I will say that they started Sydney Colson at point, didn't look so good. Ari McDonald in her first try with Indiana looked pretty good for first time out there with this team. And it'll probably look better.
Before. She used to play with them before, so she's familiar with their system.
And it'll look better. Even with Stephanie White as head coach, it looked better last night with her on the floor rather than Colson. So I could see some improvement there, but it is a back-to-back. Caitlin Clark has a groin injury. I don't know how she plays tonight. So to your point of betting under, I can obviously see that. I would expect some Dallas improvement offensively. Pace will probably be there. So you get opportunities. It's hard for me to bet any Dallas game under, but I think the circumstances here, the situational aspect probably points more that way than the other way. I think if I had to play, and I didn't because it's just too disruptive, this injury situation with Clark. But I think if I had to play, I might even lean Dallas at this point in time. I think Dallas is gaining some confidence here. What are they? 2 straight wins, 3 straight wins? They're up to 4 wins on the season now. And I think you pointed out, and it, again, doesn't take Albert Einstein to figure out that with Paige Beckers on the floor, every aspect of the Dallas game gets better, from assists to shooting to rebounding to defense to everything. So that's a big reason now that Paige has been come back from injury. I think I would lean Dallas here. Again, I didn't play, but I just like the way they're going here at home in front of a Friday night crowd. And Indiana, I think if we minus out the win in Seattle the other night, Indiana's played a lot of basketball lately, Skee. That West Coast trip, fly home, only 1 day rest, play, and now come back and play again. So I think I'd look Dallas.
A lot of travel. Third game in 4 nights. No unrested tonight. Traveling every single game. Yeah, it's been a lot for Indiana. Real quick, B-Man says, lean wings, but have a weird feeling Fever wins and Vegas wins. I mean, we see this a lot in the NBA. And for this reason, and because I missed the opening line, I was scared off of betting the Sparks, even though I knew I should have been on the Sparks, really, yesterday. Maybe it's not the same in WNBA. There's less games. The games are more meaningful. They don't see somebody out and, take it easy. They still go out there and perform. Maybe that's the difference. Because Sparks went out right yesterday. And when I saw the Caitlin Clark news, I thought the same thing about Dallas +7. But in the back of my mind, it's just like that NBA, I'm like, the people get rolled out and it just goes opposite. But we're not seeing that in the W. So if 1 + 1 = 2, if there's no Caitlin Clark out there, the Wings have been playing a hell of a lot better. Terrible schedule spot for Indiana. They should be able to win. Any thoughts on that, as far as the NBA and WNBA, whatever I was saying?
Yeah, we just we don't get as many, like you say, of those situations as we do in the NBA. But I think you're right. It doesn't seem to be as prevalent where just bet the team that's shorthanded in the NBA. No matter what the logic is, throw it out the window, bet the shorthanded team and cover. Here, it doesn't seem to work as well in the limited instances that we get. So I could agree with all of that.
All right. So with that said, I mean, I think the Wings are the right side. And I'm telling you right now, if I see Caitlin Clark rolled in, I am hedging out of that bet. I'm betting over. I'm getting out of the under bet. I'm not even going to play. I'm immediately pressing it. So just so you guys know, if you following me, if I see CC rolled in, I'm getting out. I'm getting out immediately. And I will probably, if the line goes up, I might add the Wings because I still think they can win. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, by the way, on that note, Veno, I look like such an idiot yesterday. I was trying to be so smart and wait till Brittany Sykes got rolled out. I'm eating at the bar, the casino with my laptop, looking at all the stuff. I leave. I see the news she's rolled out. I leave my food, my drink. I sprint to the window, get my bet in. And they lose outright. Look like an idiot. All right. Next game. Chicago and Golden State literally sprinted too, Rob. Anybody in there will go tell you. Chicago and Golden State open -8.5. It looks like 9 right now. Total 156.5 and looks like 150. We'll call it 157.5. As far as who's available, we are looking at Cardoso now went overseas, so she will not be there for the Sky. And then we still have this long laundry list of people who are, have other commitments overseas for Golden State. Feel like we don't have to list them every single day. The Sky coming off of a pretty nice win. I was on them in that last game, but it's going to be a little bit, and they've been playing better offensively lately. I like what they've been doing with Angel Reese, but it's going to be a little bit of a different story getting used to playing without Cardoso down there. Williams has been great, but I don't think Williams is going to be used to playing these many minutes. For Golden State, man, they just look like a well-oiled machine. They just covered game after game after game. Like, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've covered 6 of their last 7. I know at one point they had that players players meeting. Their coach is doing good things. It's very hard to bet against the Valkyries. If Cardoso was in though, I might take a look at the Sky, just because I feel like they've been playing better. But without her, I kind of got to wait and see what I'm gonna get from them. So on that note, um, and also, like I said, Chicago has been scoring a little bit better lately, but Golden State has been so good on defense. It's just a little bit hard for me to see which way this one goes. Vino, do you have a stronger opinion than I do on this?
Well, the first thing I looked at, Skee, was Golden State's team total. They've been scoring a lot lately, and the matchup of.
Oh,
Go
my
ahead.
bad, my bad, my bad. Just got the
Oh,
news.
Clark ruled out.
I don't have to be. I can breathe now. Be okay. My bad, Vino.
Yeah. All right. That's big news. That's big news. Yeah, the matchup of Chicago being the worst 3-point defense in the league and Golden State firing threes like no other in the league had me thinking, if Golden State's going to make a few, probably be tonight against a team that can't defend it. And so I looked immediately toward Golden State team total in this game. And then when you don't have Cardoso defending the rim, let's face it, Chicago's maybe their best asset is their work in the interior. And to your point of you want to see how it looks like without Camila Cardoso in the game, 2 of the last 3 games, Chicago has really focused on going through her. She's had 20 plus, I think, in 2 of the last 3, looked really, really good doing so. So that'll be a little bit different. I know that the head coach there likes to have a lot of spacing, a lot of open floor, a little bit of push. Golden State likes to push. So again, all these things started making me think Golden State over their team total would be a nice play. I think that number, I got to look it up again. I think it was 82.5 at the time. And I didn't have enough conviction to play it because I'm always afraid that Golden State's going to go out there, launch 35 threes and make 6. That's the one that always scares me off of it. But if they make them against a porous 3-point defense, they probably do get over their number tonight. Thought a little bit about the total itself, full game. But again, Chicago's a question mark at this point in time, even though their bench is playing well. They look to be getting better shots. Like you say, the way that they're using Angel Reese more as a point forward on the offensive end, it has helped them score a lot lately, but they are giving it up. I mean, they're giving up points like crazy as of late. And so I think, again, I haven't played it yet, but my best look here would be toward Golden State at home. That crowd is crazy. And we've said it before, but this is one team, not that they're the only team, but this is one team where if you want to have at least a guaranteed 40 minutes of energy from the team you bet on, then bet Golden State because you'll get all 40 from them. And I think in this instance tonight, if I had to play, I'd be playing up and over 82.5 their team total.
What's the number? 82.5?
I think it was 82.5. Let me look. No, 83.5 now.
Okay. 83.5 on that team total.
Yeah, they pushed it up a point this morning. Yep.
Well, the Sky defense hasn't been great. I mean, they gave that up, 3 games in a row? So I could absolutely see that happening here once again. People in the chat were mentioning Valkyries first half. I know that's been pretty good this season. And I know you talked about it before.
Yeah. 11-3, Skee, just to update that number. Golden State is 11-3, I think, against the spread first half this year. I think they were 10-3, and then they covered against New York the other night.
So something is a little bit off here. I don't know. There's 3 pushes, so maybe it depends what number you got on some of these. But they still have been profitable, at least as far as this database is concerned. And it looks like they're 5-1 first half with the rest advantage. But what I do want to point out is, I mean, are they favorites in all these games? They're probably dogs in a lot of these games, right? So
I'm looking right here. Only one time were they a first half favorite. That was against Connecticut 2 games ago. They laid 5.5. They won the first half 59-32.
Well, Connecticut is, man, I don't think we got to say anything else about them, especially without Mabry. But we can see here, last 5 games, Sky been pretty good first half too. Again, there's a lineup change without Cardoso. Valkyrie's been kind of scraping by there. So just pointing that out for anybody looking to bet first half, just sharing some information. And that is the Money Baller. Shout out to my guy RC, is his website. Check it out if you want some help capping the games. A couple more comments. Don't know. Not sure what this is, but I'll put it up there. Mark says without Cardosa, no bueno. Let's see. Swish says Angel getting those me boards tonight under her points though. I would say that Golden State, I think, is a pretty good rebounding team. We'll see. But I don't like talking. She's gonna have to do it. I'll tell you that if the Sky are gonna have a chance. Diego's asking about Sky team total under. I looked at it. I think it was 72.5. Valkyries have been allowing 72.4 points per game last 5 games, but like I said, Sky have been scoring better lately. I'm unsure what they're gonna look like without Cardosa. So for that reason, I didn't decide to get in on anything. Somebody likes Burton. Anything else? UCapper thinks Valkyrie's defense lets down here. He's looking at over full game. So a lot of different ways to look at this one. Let's keep it going here, Veno. 6-15, 6-16. Another one that I bet. New York and Phoenix opened up Liberty -2. We've seen a flip of favorites. It is now Mercury -1.5. Total open 166. It's as high as 168.5. And let's just double check who's available. We know Jonquel Jones is out. Let's also refresh here because we know these things continue to change. Jonquel Jones and Phoebich both out, held out for the Mercury. Mercury have been playing some damn good basketball, and the Liberty have been pretty much the opposite. They did get off the snide and get a win versus the Valkyries in their last game, but it was not easy, and they are still playing shorthanded. For the Mercury, they are pretty healthy. They won what? They won 4 in a row, 5 in a row. It's very hard to bet against them. I can understand why the line went this way. It is a revenge spot for the Liberty, but on the road, still unhealthy. I don't know if revenge is enough. I will lean towards Mercury, but even more than that, I do think both teams can contribute offensively. Mercury have gone over like every game. I'll tell you specifically here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their last 7 have gone over. That offense, since they've gotten healthy, is just a little bit too much for people to handle. And without Jonquel Jones down there, the defense for the Liberty is kind of soft. I think Sabrina is due for a bounce back as well. I bet over 166.5. Lean Mercury. What do you think, Veno?
I agree. The only thing that scared me originally was Phoenix was playing so well and in such an offensive rhythm, and now they've had 6 days off. And I hate that when a team is cohesive and they're playing so well, and then all of a sudden you're going to give them a week off to maybe come out a little bit rusty. They had to travel back home, get all this time off. It was the one deterrent. And when you're handicapping these games, guys, you have to look for ways that you can lose too, and then just weigh the pros and cons. But that is a definite liability here, in my mind at least, because it's an unanswerable. We won't know until Phoenix takes the floor. Now they could just be so cohesive at this point that they go out there and roll. That could be too. They did beat New York 89-81 in New York not too long ago. Breanna Stewart had 35 in that game. That was the game where Jonquel Jones got hurt. Got hurt in the first quarter. Didn't come back. Now she's out for a while. How about this number, Skee? I know we pointed out quite a bit the shooting failures of Caitlin Clark over recent games. Sabrina Ionescu, last 2 games, 4 of 27 from the floor, 14.8%. 2 of 17 on threes, 4.3%. I thought Caitlin Clark in the 3rd game after 2 bad ones was due and she would come back and shoot. Well, she didn't. That was the game a couple of nights ago. She did not shoot well again. I think she went 1 for 6 from 3 that night. Can Sabrina come back and shoot? She's going to have to. If the game's going to go over, it comes down to her and Breanna Stewart, really, as the 2 leaders of this team. So we'll see. There were a couple of things that scared me off, but I still agree that 166.5 because Phoenix suddenly has become a pace team. If you go and check WNBA pace ratings, you'll find Phoenix is like the second fastest team in the league now. They've gotten healthy. They've obviously implemented the system that head coach Tibbetts wants to implement, and it worked against New York once. I don't know that they'll go away from it here. So I do lean over, but I'm nervous about the Phoenix layoff, and I'm nervous about Ionescu getting her shooting touch back, because if she stays in a funk, New York's not going to pull their weight in this game.
Very valid points. Valid points. The rest versus rest debate, definitely understand. Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see how it shakes out. Like I said, I've got 166.5 in my pocket, and I'll be rooting it on tonight. Last game. Oh boy, the worst team in the league, the Stinkers. That's the Connecticut Sun versus the Seattle Storm. Another 19.5 point spread for this Connecticut team. They are god awful. Veno, what was it? 7 minutes without scoring a bucket in that last one to start the game. God, they suck, bro. No, Mabry is just like they don't know what to do. The Storm are coming off of a loss as a favorite versus the Fever, and they've had a couple days to think about it, and maybe they will take out their frustrations on Connecticut, similar to how the Aces did. But 19.5 is just, it's a little too rich for me. Seattle's offense is not good enough. I mean, they've been playing better. I say that out loud, and we talked about since they made that switch to Wheeler, the offense did get a lot better. But man, 19.5 is just, I guess I'll lean towards Seattle team total over. I feel like the Sun can give it up to anybody and they will give up. So team total over for Seattle will be my lean. How do you like this one? And Capper disagrees off the top. He says team total under.
Yeah, well, I waited long enough till you landed in my corner there, Skee. I was going to ask you, because remember the other night against Connecticut, I played the Las Vegas Aces team total under 89.5. But we had reasons to think that Las Vegas might not keep the pedal to the floor the entire game. Do you think Seattle cares to go 40 full minutes here? Because if you do, this team total of 88.5 is too low. They'll get to 90 against this team. This team is defenseless on the interior. NECA has been going crazy. And even in defeat the other night against Indiana, they still scored 86. But it's been 86, 89, 90, 98, had a 70, a 94, and an 89. It's a lot of points. And against a team, like I say, that is just absolutely miserable defensively, I think Seattle gets to 90 here, Skee. It probably put up a 50-plus half at some point. And I don't know that there'll be any let up here. You're not talking about a team that's got a back-to-back situation. They don't play until Sunday against Golden State. They'll travel. Yeah, I mean, maybe Noel Quinn pulls some starters with 7 minutes left in the game, but we've seen against Connecticut, even the reserves can do the job. And in defense of this play, Las Vegas wasn't really trying, and they got to 85 the other night. I kind of like the Seattle offense a little bit better. I like their ability to turn turnovers into points. They're either number one in the league in fast break points. Somebody correct me here using the Ronald's Moneyballer website will tell you either they're tops in the league in fast break points or points off turnovers. It might be fast break points, but they can speed it up a little bit. So I think over 88.5 is the right way to go.
Fast break points, you said, or
points off turnovers?
They're number 2 in fast break points.
Well, they're
number 1 in points off turnovers.
Yeah. Can Connecticut dribble the basket? J.C. Sheldon will be under a little pressure.
Let's see. Capper says Storm has double-digit favorites, 2-0 to the team total under. Sun has double-digit dogs. Our opponents are 7-2 to team total under. So he thinks that they can at least try to play some defense. Or if the game gets out of hand, the other team won't even care no more. It's already over. And I can understand that thought process. Mm-hmm. All right. That is the WNBA card. 5 games. We did it in about 35 minutes. So now actually, before we move to best bet, let's go ahead and put this up again. Vino's like we said, not good looking enough, I guess, to make the cut. But the 4th of July blowout sale, I barely made it. Look, they tried to cut me off. I'm not good looking enough either, I guess. I'm the last. I got half my body on there. But the 4th of July blowout sale, you can do it however you want. 7 days, all access to one person. You can do flex picks. Maybe you want to try Rob today. Maybe you want to try me tomorrow. Um, it's a good way to get involved. Less than $10 a day. So that will be going, I'm pretty sure, until 4th of July. Now, with that said, Vino, let's get back here. We will move it to best bets, and I'll ask you if there's anything else you would like to promote. And if you have a best bet for the show, feel free to share. If you do not, it is okay.
I'll just extend or expand real quick, Skee, on that promotion that you just ran. If you do choose to get involved with my selection packages, it's been a nice run since March the 17th. It's better than a 4-month run here, plus 99 units worth of profit. So you can go ahead. Probably a good time to get on. The fund has been extended. We'll have CFL action tonight, WNBA action tonight. You can find it all weekend long over there at wagertalk.com. We talked yesterday. I like the way Teddy looks like he just came off the rooftop in that picture.
Let me put it up one more time because there's some good comments too. Let me just take a look here, Vino. We did. Let's get some comments here. First of all, I mean, goddamn, we did talk about Ronald's look at Ronald's dome right there. You guys can check out my guy RC too. He's on fire in WNBA, doing some great work. But look at him there without his hat. And then look at Teddy. Teddy straight up the tennis salon.
Right off level 6 in the parking garage. Came and took that picture.
Oh man. I don't know. What can you say about me here? Whatever you want to say. You can make fun of me too. It's all good with me. Drew is real serious. I know that.
Yes.
And Vino, I don't know. Just
one day. Must have been an age limit.
Age limit. There we go. Casey said big old cone head talking about RC. There was one more I thought that would be good, but no, we'll keep it going. I like to laugh. We like to have fun on this show, if you can't tell. They said Teddy looking like a valet supervisor.
You might not want to work for Teddy. Or you might want to work for Teddy. I'm not sure.
All right. I know my bad. I cut you off, but what you got for us, whether promo wise or best bet?
Yeah. I'll go to best bet. The promo, like I say, if you're interested, it's been a good run last 4 months, and continues to be so. I'm going to go back to the very first game on the board. I thought it was short. And again, I'm one of these guys who plays a lot of return to the norm. When you have two teams that are as good offensively as these two are, Minnesota and Atlanta, 2 and 3 in the league, they're both off their worst performance of the year, and you get a number of 158 for a total. I just thought that was kind of crazy. I do get the benefit of Nafisha Collier coming back now. So for me, the best bet for today is full game over 158 Minnesota at Atlanta.
I like it. And, I like to give you guys a bet the same number I can get. And they all haven't moved. So what I'm going to do, I don't have a package up. If you want to get involved with that 7 day, you'll get all my bets that I make today. And you'll get them when I release them so you can get the best of the lines. But I will share the 3 that I've made today. You can do what you want with that. And maybe if you make some money with them, you'll come check me out over the weekend. I bet under 169.5, Indiana and Dallas. I bet Phoenix in New York over 166.5. And I bet Minnesota plus 100 even money to win versus Atlanta. So not all the same percent. So I guess that's still safe for subscribers, but you guys know what I'm on. We've talked them out. I think we did a pretty good job breaking down the card. So it's about that time. Vino, always enjoy and appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games with me. Helps my process, helps everybody in the chat. People in the chat, great cappers, great people. We have fun, we laugh, we try to help each other make money. I love you guys. You guys definitely help make the show what it is. So always want to let you know you're appreciated. It's Friday, so no show tomorrow. If you know, you know. Skee's gonna have some fun tonight. We'll be back on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1:30 Eastern, and I'll see you guys there. Good luck this weekend.